Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day.
Attention, attention.
Since we're together,
News imminent. The imperious leader will be with us shortly.
mine, could you be mine? Won't you be?
The joy of home ownership means that you get to own land. What you do with that land is up to you and your imagination.
It started by doing backyard cleanup. I uncovered slabs of broken patio concrete. I used to make fish tank scenes out of styrofoam, and they look really cool Rocky Mountain caves and stuff like that. Really cool stuff with animated motorized sea creatures and monsters. It was all in there. But they were always indoors. I never built anything to survive the outside. Until I came across roofing materials, such as this rubberized roofing glue with its polyester membrane cloth, and I was now able to make the same mountains I did for fish tanks, but much larger, being outside. This meant for the first time, I was now able to make things big. Not only big enough to make my own little world, I wanted to make my own little planet.
They said when you got here, the whole thing started. Where did you come from?
It had its own spaceships, robotic explorers, reptilian creatures, and of course my favorite, the freakazoid plant life that entirely inhabited my planet. It all lit up at night. There was no hiding it or hiding from it.
This is City Alpha 5!
And to be able to interact with this world was a thrill to just walk around in it. My own little world. It was my planet, and I loved it. But not all felt the love. When this walking pile of fertilizer neighbor of mine couldn't get the price he wanted for selling his house, started vandalizing mine. And arrests had to be made.
Security cameras are essential. Remember, it's not a crime if you can't prove it.
And it wasn't long before code enforcement showed up.
And I felt coerced into doing something I so wholeheartedly soon regretted. I took it down. And I was persuaded now to act more sophisticated, adult-like. Mature was the word I most commonly heard.
So I decided to actually patent my invention. The laser-targeted, remote-controlled bee's nest destroyer.
This here is one of my fully functional prototypes I sent out for personal evaluations for destroying the nests of flying venomous insects safely, without the risk of ever getting stung. I kept trying to get their review on what they thought of my invention, but I never heard from any of them. I'm extremely proud of having created it. After all, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So I went back to making robots.
Enjoyed building the robots. That was the best part about the robots, and because you could put lights in them and cameras in them, they served a purpose. So I decided to build the ultimate robot, in my opinion, and that was Ed 209 from RoboCop. I thought this thing was so cool. I like making things big. It's just more intense when things are big. They make you feel small and vulnerable to them, and that's a good thing. Then came a full-size mech that I wanted to make. I wanted to make it large enough to look like I could fit a I could fit in it and operate it as a pilot of this machine. Because I knew that I wanted to make a movie prop that I could interact with. I wanted to make a film. And that movie short that I created is called The Vortex Machine. It's on YouTube, called The Vortex Machine. It's my very own story about a scientist that was involved with the project called the Philadelphia Experiment. And he confiscates the equipment and rebuilds it into his own personal time-traveling walking tank mech machine to prove that time travel is possible. In order to prove this, he figures he must return with extraordinary evidence, and to him that was the egg of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He soon learned that there are some things that man should leave alone. And in front of my house, one of my classy favorite props that I built a Fokker DO-1 triplane, the Red Baron's plane. It's got a motorized propeller, it's cute, a lot of people love it. And it has a skull pilot, and at Christmas time I decorate them to spread some holiday cheer around the place. My Civil War cannon and American flag. I'm proud to be American. But what keeps an eye on these things here is this motorized, with night vision cameras, my bigger-than-life, lost-in-space robot. What's cool about this is I can operate and move it from within my living room. He lights up, he moves at my control, and I can see what's happening. But here is where it all went to hell in a handbasket. I added a fog machine to the robot. I had no experience with fog machines before, and I just didn't know that fog stuff really hangs around. Within an hour or so, the whole avenue was fogged out. The robot completely cut off all driving visibility that no one was prepared for. They just drove right into it.
It sounded like the angel of death himself was hovering over my house. What can I do? I quickly cut off all power to the robot and hung a low profile. Out of sight, out of mind. And I just quietly went out of my mind so no one would accuse the robot.
The next morning, the police showed up at my place. They knew just where to go. Perhaps a poor choice of vanity license plates.
Oh, they talked to me about car incidences. Some sort of fender benders.
1 week later, rumors started spreading of other robotic chaos that has been sweeping the earth.
You will abandon this project now.
Well, what was I gonna do now? Go back to kitten juggling? So I went back to stop-motion filmmaking.
I started a stop-motion miniseries I called Gladiator Mechs. It is wholesome family entertainment.
Near as that from the days of the Roman Empire.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And I always wanted to make a full-scale Tyrannosaurus Rex in my backyard. What if I combined the rock mountains with dinosaur skulls? What if I made them look like they were being dug out of rock fossils, where the bodies were hidden under the ground?
Well, here they are now. My dinosaur head fossil rocks of the Triceratops, the Spinosaurus, and the T-Rex.
T-Rex? Mm-hmm. You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. We have a T-Rex.
These are the coolest things I have ever made.
think you're the cause of all this?